Embers spiral upward from a world ending, not in a roar, but in the silent, frozen terror reflected in a woman's eyes. That acrid scent isn't just cedar and precious oils burning. It's the smell of an empire's memory being erased. First, you feel the heat, a dry, pressing hand against your skin. Then comes the sound, a deep, groaning consumption of wood and stone. And beneath it, a silence more piercing than any scream, the quiet of 1,000 stories being severed. This is the final night of Persepolis, and for the royal women sheltered within its walls, a fate far worse than the fire was already unfolding. Pull back. Breathe. The year is 330 BCE. In the rugged highlands of Persia, Alexander of Macedon, a king not yet 30, stands before the ultimate prize. His army, a hungry machine forged by his father Philip and hardened over years of march, has crushed the Persian king Darius at Issus and Gaugamela. Now, the very heart of the empire lies open, the magnificent terrace of Persepolis. To his men, it's a mountain of gold. To Alexander, it's a symbol that must be broken. But breaking a symbol has a human cost, calculated in cold, brutal arithmetic. This was never a spontaneous act of barbarism. It was the final step in a machine built for conquest. 2 centuries earlier, Darius the Great carved this city from living rock as a testament to imperial unity. To the Greeks, it was a permanent insult, a reminder of when Xerxes burned their own Acropolis. Alexander's campaign was pitched as vengeance. His army, unpaid and restless, saw only the treasure locked in vaults below. For 3 months, a tense peace held. Macedonian soldiers wandered halls of unimaginable splendor. But what happens when an unstoppable force occupies a fragile world? Shift the lens inside, to the women's quarters. A world of scented oils, whispered hymns, and intricate tapestries. Here moves Leyla, a daughter of a court official. Her life is a pattern of quiet ritual, mixing perfumes, weaving threads of blue and gold, dreaming of a marriage postponed by war. She is not a queen, but a thread in the empire's fabric, unseen, essential. The outside clamor is a distant rumor until the gates splinter. The demand comes not from Alexander himself, but from the grinding gears of his system. Tribute, a Macedonian captain barks, his gaze sweeping past offered jewels and linens, settling on the veiled figures behind. Refusal is met with force. What follows is not a battle with clashing swords, but a violation in the dark. Silk tears. Leyla's world contracts to the feel of cold stone against her cheek, the shard of a broken mirror clutched so tight it draws blood. The pain is an anchor. It means she still exists. The next morning, reports will call it the securing of quarters, a line item in the ledger of conquest. Conquest's ledger itemizes gold and souls with the same cold hand. Why do we remember the burning of a city, but forget the silencing of its people? The machine, efficient and cold, scales its work. Mid-ranking officers like Doros, a Thracian hungry for advancement, ride out to the surrounding plains. Their orders? Inventory, pacify, consolidate. Villages are assessed for grain, livestock, and usable bodies. Men who might rebel are removed. Women and children are gathered, relocated as labor or as comfort for the troops. A priestess stands before a village shrine, defying them. A torch falls. The report that reaches Alexander's table reads simply, "Resistance neutralized." Doros earns his silver and takes a Persian girl from the palace for his own. The system rewards compliance. It turns human lives into logistical assets. Back in the central palace, the mood turns. Months of tension and revelry boil over. At a drunken symposium, the Athenian courtesan Thias, her words honeyed and sharp, weaves a tale of ancient wrongs. "Will you let the ghost of Xerxes laugh?" she asks, her eyes on Alexander. The king, unsteady with wine and the weight of history, takes a torch. What happens next may be calculated theater or the final surrender to the machine's momentum. The fire begins in Xerxes' own palace. Cedar beams dried by mountain air ignite like kindling. Flames race across gold-leafed ceilings, consuming murals of immortal guardians. The heat becomes a physical wall. The roar drowns all. People flee in a chaotic river down the grand staircases. Leyla, if she still moves, sees the world she knew become light and ash. The great Apadana Hall, where kings once received the world, collapses in a thunder of stone. Ash is the archive fire cannot destroy. Alexander watches, his face illuminated by the inferno. Is it triumph or the grim acknowledgement of a debt finally paid? His general Hephaestion looks on with silent concern. The machine has achieved its symbolic goal. The Persian heart is ash, but in its overreach, a flaw appears. Deep in the subterranean vaults, clay tablets, bureaucratic records detailing rations for workers in the king's household, are baked hard by the heat, not destroyed. The empire's meticulous paperwork outlasts its splendor. The fire sought to erase memory, but memory proved fireproof. Centuries later, in 1931, archaeologist Ernst Herzfeld brushes dust from those very stairs. His trowel reveals not gold, but truth. Stone friezes of endless peaceful processions. Then the tablets, thousands of them, contracts, rosters, supply lists, names. In the cold, stamped clay, the voice of Leyla's world whispers back. The machine failed. So why walk through these ashes? Because the blueprint of Persepolis is not ancient history. It's a recurring manual. The strategic burning of cities, the use of women's safety as a bargaining chip, the cold calculus that turns people into assets and collateral. It teaches us that power is brittle, and that while systems are designed to erase, evidence is stubborn. Resistance is not always a sword. Sometimes it's a scribe's tablet, an archaeologist's patience, a story retold. If this story found a place in your thoughts, then the memory has done its work. Please help this channel, Shadows of History, bring more of these silenced echoes to light. A like on this video tells the algorithm that these stories matter, for Leyla and for the countless threads nearly lost to the fire.